Hello my dear children, you're waiting for Chemical Kinetics. I'm here. Welcome to one more amazing session from Sri Chaitanya Academy. This is Suresh, Faculty of Chemistry. आज हम चर्चा करने वाले हैं Chemical Kinetics. So in the journey of CBSE preparation, this is actually NEET YouTube channel. But this is the time for CBSE examination. So you guys are busy with your CBSE preparation and we don't want to let you just leave us, and I want to take you the opportunity to make you the best to score in CBSE examination as well. So बच्चों लोग आप लोग कैसे हैं? Just a thumbs up and fire emoji so that we can start the class. And in this chemical kinetics, it is an awesome chapter and a limited number of formulas, and it gives you 6 to 8 marks in the CBSE. When you prepare CBSE examinations in such a way that you can do the NEET examination in the best way of performance. So, bacho, why late? We'll just discuss about the chemical kinetics and the speed of a chemical reactions. And I want to take 2 sessions for this. And today is a short stretch of session. And kaise planning banana hai, and thoda sa rate and order we'll discuss. And tomorrow we'll discuss about integrated rate loss and more numericals. So, आज के लिए session थोड़ा shortcut करना चाहता हूँ. And bachon, once you like the session, share with your friends, subscribe to this Sri Chaitanya Academy NEET channel. So before you start anything, let it be any examination or any subject, you need to have a proper plan. That's my philosophy. With this experience, I just want to suggest you a few important points as far as this chemical kinetics प्रॉपर प्लानिंग बनाना कैसे एग्जामिनेशन में अच्छा तरफ मार्क्स लूटने के लिए, एंड मेहनत करो, मार्क्स लूटने का कोशिश करो, एंड डोंट लीव द मार्क्स ऑन द टेबल एंड ग्रैब द मार्क्स ऑन योर पॉकेट. राइट बच्चों, लेट्स सी हियर इन द केमिकल काइनेटिक्स क्या करना अभी. यस, अंडरस्टैंडिंग द चैप्टर वेटेज. यस, यू कैन सी केमिकल काइनेटिक्स यूजुअली कैरी 6 to 8 marks in the board examination, right? And also mostly numerical plus or minus 1 to theory questions will be there, right? And you can see, so goal is you need to have a concept clarity. Unless concept clarity, you cannot go ahead. थोड़ा सा रट्टा मारने तो आगे बढ़ना है, ये मुश्किल बात है बेटा. And numerical accuracy, you know the boon in this particular chapter is direct numericals from the NCERT. Values will be the same, right? And you say, I am weak in mathematics, I can't do it. No, never. The questions will be asked in such a way that you will be normalized to understand. Moving ahead, you just see first, there are several steps I just want to say to proceed in this particular chapter. Bacho, here rate of a reaction. So be clear in understanding the basic concept. I will explain everything now. And average rate versus instantaneous rate. And also rate constants and their units also very important. Bacho. And there are basic but essential for numericals. And और एक चीज़ है rate law and order of a reaction. So मेरा बचपन से मैं देख रहा हूँ the difference between order and the molecularity in the CBSE examination paper. And it is repeated several times, bacho. And the most important topics here you can see focus on order. Rate is equal to K, A to the power M, B to the power N. And the overall order of the reaction is the M plus N. Order is defined as the sum of the powers in the rate law expression. ये rate law expression है. अगर A plus B gives rise to product. In this, let it be, it is x and it is going to be y. मैं क्या बोलना चाहता हूँ? X may be equal or may not be equal to m, and y may be equal or may not be equal to n. By looking at the balanced chemical equation, you are not supposed to tell what is the order of a reaction. No, it is not at all. And for a zero order reaction and a first order reaction, pseudo first order reaction, molecularity, difference between the order and the molecularity. मैं आपके लिए अच्छे तरफ प्लान बना के रखा हुआ, and you all follow this. Bacho, you can see there are just maximum 4 formulas are there in the entire chapter. Whatever the numerical is coming from this derivative of these 4 formulas will come. And you can see for a 0 order integrated rate expression, A is equal to A naught minus KT. A is the concentration at time t, and A naught is the initial concentration, and minus KT. K is the rate constant and T is the time. And for first order reaction, बहुत सारे बार में देखा, you use 100 times this formula. K is equal to 2.303 by T log A naught by AT. So K is the rate constant, A naught initial concentration, A is the concentration at that time T. You can also write the same equation. K is equal to 2.303 by T is equal to, is log A by A minus X. A B और एक है, same meaning of these two formulas are same. Yeah, Sharma. Hello. And those who are online, please like the session. When you like the session, in front of my screen, it will be visualized एक like मारा. If you just like the session, session का energy भी बढ़ जाता. Right, beta? Right, now let us see here one more two reactions. Arrhenius equation. K is equal to A exponent A by RT. A is activation energy, R is a gas constant 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse and mole inverse, T is the temperature, and A is the Arrhenius factor, K is the rate constant. You take log K is equal to log A minus GA by 2.303 R T. And you can also say log K2 upon K1 is equal to EA by 2.303 R T2 minus T1 and upon T1 and T2. This is another equation. So this is the formula you are going to get direct numericals, and this is the formula you are going to get direct numericals. है ना बेटा? So you won't be having a numericals other than this formula. So plan banana kaise abhi? So how to practice SMART method? First solve and again you solve and repeat it. And all NCERT example जो numerical solve कर चुका NCERT examples में, all NCERT back exercise questions with the same numerical values. So कोई बदलने वाला नहीं है. And previous 10 years CBSE numerical. Bus out of this box it will not come. So CBSE love repeated numerical patterns. So not questions, बच्चों patterns है ना बेटा. And आज हम लाइव सेशन में थोड़ा सा rate expression के बारे में डिस्कस करने वाला है. And you can see one more here, how to write in the board examination. Everybody practice. लिखना कैसे examination में. And presentation, art of beautiful presentation is required. So bachcho here, so CBSE checking method is based always the 3-line formula. Write the formula. जो भी numerical है, let it be physics and chemistry. I follow this. Whatever the numerical is given, I'll tell you the game. When the numerical is given, I don't know how to solve the numerical, or otherwise I know how to solve the numerical. So I'll tell you the case 1, I don't know how to solve the numerical. So बच्चा ऐसा भी होता है, and you are a good student, you know how to solve the numerical. So मान के चले एक बच्चा का numerical solve करना कैसे, he don't know. So read the question carefully, जो चीज़ है examination में, question में, and you write the given data in the answer script. That is the first one. So write the formula. So limited number of formulas, you recall whatever the chapter it is, and related to the chapter some formulas will be there. And if it is electrochemistry, if it is asking about whether it is a conductance or Nernst equation or Faraday's law, only 3 formulas are there. If it is related to calculate something related to mass of the copper deposited, now we can directly say it is a formula based on Faraday's first law. You will be having maximum 5 formulas in the solutions, 4 formulas in electrochemistry, 4 formulas in chemical kinetics. So how many formulas? Less than 20 na? You put some formula and try to plug in. So that is the least version I wanted to give. Now let us talk about how to solve it. Here we are helping you to solve the numericals, right? So for anything, write the formula, given data, substitute the value with units, एक खास बात है, and write the final answer along with the unit, है ना? Even the answer is wrong, steps fetch marks. Steps fetch marks. This is a rule in the CBSE paper evaluation as a senior faculty. I know that. I so many times I evaluated the papers from the CBSE examination. I was the person who has given the guidelines for this paper evaluation. I know it. Fetch the marks. Even the answer is wrong, you can fetch the marks. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. And so directly jump into the concept here, bacho. Important topics in the high priority. Important topics in the high probability. First order reaction numericals, beta. And half-life comparisons. And unit of a rate constant. And order and molecularity difference. मैं ये बोल रहा है ना बचपन से, मेरा बचपन से देख रहा हूँ, order and molecularity difference and activation energy and calculation and graph based questions. कहीं नहीं मिलेगा आपको graph based questions, यही session में मिलेगा, right? In this particular chapter you are going to get the graph based questions, right? How do I know this is a graph based questions? Now you can see here, this is the formula, K is equal to A exponent EA by RT. It is Arrhenius equation. If you forget the graph also, I don't mind, but you can directly do this. So log K is equal to log A minus EA by 2.303 RT. So I can write this as log K is equal to log A minus EA by 2.303 R into 1 by T. Can you compare this expression? Y is equal to mx and c, right? It is an equation of straight line. Y में क्या? So what is there on the y? Y and what is there on the x? X. Y में log k है. X में क्या है? You are going to get 1 by t. Now it is going to be a straight line. You are going to get straight line. As this is shown here negative, so it is going to be a straight line with a negative slope. Slope क्या होगा? A by 2.303. Slope is going to be EA by 2.303 R. And intercept is going to be A, log A. Now उसमें क्या खास बात है? So marks लूटने कैसे है? Slope, yes, no girls here. So here only chemistry चलता है session में. You will be given slope, in exam, you will be given a slope of the graph and you have to calculate, you are asked to calculate activation energy. Now you tell me, chemical kinetics is easy or difficult? This is the crystal clear example. I can prove that chemical kinetics देखने को डर लगता है, करने का अच्छा होगा. It is easy. Can you believe it? It can be done. बच्चों, it is very simple. And I given you एक concept explain किया. एक concept की वजह से question कैसे निकाल सकते हैं. So students, you like the session? And say something high in the chat box. I will be helping you. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Please let me know. Now moving ahead. Yes. Now let us talk graph based questions. Simply writing graph based questions. Everybody, yeah, sir बोले graph based questions. Graph based questions का आंसर पकड़ना कैसे है, right? Now moving ahead, talking about the chemical kinetics में, chemistry is always concerned with the change by means of a chemical reaction, right? So now students, today is going to be a short session only, okay? Try to be following us, and today I will take a basic version of chemical kinetics and कल हम extend करने वाला हैं. And physical chemistry, whenever you say physical chemistry, बच्चों लोग सोच रहे थे जब क्वेश्चन में न्यूमेरिकल आता है ना, ये फिजिकल केमिस्ट्री है. नो नो नो, फिजिकल केमिस्ट्री मीन्स इट्स अ फिजिकल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ chemical reaction, right? It has three major domains: thermodynamics, chemical equilibrium and chemical kinetics. अगर when you say a chemistry is a study of chemical reactions, so chemical reactions में reactant product बनाना है. So I want to say whether the reaction takes place or not is decided based on thermodynamics beta, and once the reaction is taking place, how fast the reaction is going on is decided by chemical kinetics, and the reaction, how much reactant gives rise the product, and the product give back to the reaction. That I want to say extent of reaction is explained on the basis of equilibrium. So here there are three major aspects, that is there: thermodynamics, chemical equilibrium, chemical kinetics. समझ में आ रही है क्या बच्चों? Right. Now आज हम चर्चा करने वाले हैं the deal with the rate of a reaction and the mechanism of the reaction, how it is taking place. That is the basis of a chemical kinetics. So along with the feasibility, the extent is equally important. So the factors that affecting the rate of reaction is also given by the chemical kinetics. Here moving ahead, thermodynamics tells only about the feasibility of the reaction. It is not connected with how extent the reaction is taking place, how fast the reaction takes place. But chemical kinetics is the one which talk about the speed of a reaction. So I want to say some reactions are going to be so rapid, so fast, they are called as instantaneous reaction. So rate is going to be dc by dt. So I mean to say t is going to be very small. These are called very fast reactions. Example, explosion of a bomb, also burning of a fuel. And sometimes, you know, some reactions proceed with moderate time. So rate time is going to be measurable. Ester hydrolysis, hydrolysis of sucrose, decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, inversion of sugar, we can say. Yes, only chemical kinetics is applicable for those reactions which takes place in a moderate speed. And some reactions are very slow. T is very long. So chemical kinetics is not applicable for very fast reactions or not applicable for very slow reactions. The chemical kinetics is applicable for only moderate reactions. Now, so rate of a chemical reaction, the rate of change in concentration with respect to time of the different species taking part in the chemical reaction is said to be a rate. A species with respect to means it could be reactant or the product. So that is expressed as rate of decrease in the concentration of the reactant. As the reaction proceeds, reactant is going to convert into product. As the reaction proceeds, reactant concentration decrease and the product concentration is increased. And disappearance of this reactant species and appearance of the product is written in this way. That is what is called as a rate. So the rate of increase in the concentration means to say appearance of products, you know? And you can see For a gaseous reactant, concentration is taken as an active mass and the partial pressures are taken as an active mass. And rate is expressed as the rates of change in the partial pressures. If the product is also gas, you are going to change the overall change in the total system of the pressure. So, the pressure directly proportional to the number of moles. So, you have two types of rates, bachcho, average rate and instantaneous rate. So, average rate is the rate at a given interval of time. Instantaneous rate is the rate at that particular instant of time. So, I want to say reactant gives rise to the product, and average rate is total change in the concentration of this given reactant at that given interval of time. So, that is C final minus C initial. C stands for concentration and the time taken. So, delta C by delta T. You have to take the magnitude only. With respect to the reactant, it is taken as a negative. With respect to the product, it is taken as a positive. But the negative is different, but the magnitude is always considered for the rate never be negative. That is very important. A one line, very short answer questions you can expect from this chemical kinetics based on this freebies, you can say. So, you need not have to worry to squeeze marks for 1 or 2 marks from the entire paper. So, like that you can see reactant gives rise to the product, average rate is going to be, so reactant concentration final minus initial upon time taken for that. And you can see similarly rate of appearance of product. So, as reaction proceeds, the product is going to increase its concentration. So, that it is given as P final minus P initial upon time taken for that. Graphically, you can also say during a reaction, reactant concentration decreases and product concentration is increased. So, I want to see the concentration of the reactant with respect to time. It is coming like this. When it comes to the concentration of the product with respect to time, it is coming like this. Fine. So, that is exactly given here. So, let us talk about when the reactant concentration is decreased like this. At the time T1, the reactant concentration is this much, and the time T2 reactant concentration is decreased. So, this is the change in concentration of the reactant, and this is the time taken for this. So, del R by del T, you know. And if it is the product side, so the product concentration is increased as the time proceeds, bachcho, and it is at the time T1 and the time T2, that is the delta T, and this is going to be delta P. So, it is said that del P by del T or delta P by T. So, it is given as a positive here. If it is given in the previous one, it is a negative. Why so? Somebody comment in the chat box. Use this chat box. I want to see you comment in the chat box, bachcho. Yes, I will unveil that. So, on concentration of time graph, the average rate of reaction is the slope of the secant joining 2 points, which defines the concentration at the different instants of the curve. Now, if you write a tangent, so that intercept is going to be, you can say dc by dt, that is called instantaneous rate. That's it. So, when time is infinitesimally small, time tends to 0, then average rate is going to be instantaneous rate. The rate of reaction is particular instant when limit time tends to 0. So, dc del C by del T is becoming dc by dt, that is called as instantaneous reaction. Reactant, the average is given as a negative of reactant rate is equal to positive of the product rate. Okay. So, that is given as like this. Again is a tangent intercept. The instantaneous rate of reaction can be determining the drawing a tangent at the time of t on which the concentration versus time curve. Fine. So, negative slope and a positive slope. With respect to the reactant, it is a negative slope. With respect to the positive slope, that's the reason why we use here a negative and it is going to be a positive sign here. And the same thing happens here. So, relation between the rate of different species involved in the reaction. So, hope you are understanding, clear. Moving ahead, here N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to NH3. So, how to write this is, rate with respect to the nitrogen is going to be dN2 by dt. Rate with, this is minus because nitrogen is the reactant. Rate with respect to the hydrogen is going to be dH2 by dt, is going to be negative. And rate with respect to the NH3 is going to be dNH3 by dt. So, these are all the rate means this is only, but when it comes to the stoichiometry, for consumption of one molecule of nitrogen, there are 3 molecules of hydrogen are being consumed. So, you can say the rate of this consumption of the nitrogen and consumption of hydrogen is not same. These are all, however, they are not equal at all when it comes to the general order of reaction. So, then how do I do? So, you like this, rate of consumption of nitrogen is 1/3 of the rate of consumption of hydrogen, because one molecule मर गया तो ये 3 molecules मरना चाहिए, मरना का मतलब disappeared क्या, right? So, 1 mole of nitrogen react with 3 mole of hydrogen to produce ammonia, 2 moles of ammonia. So, that 1/2 moles of rate of formation of ammonia is seen, right? So, in general, how do I write that? So, by convention, the rate of reaction is expressed by overall rate. So, how do I write the overall rate of a reaction? By deriving the individual rate with their respect to stoichiometric coefficients. What are these stoichiometric coefficients? In this reaction, these are the stoichiometric coefficients. 1 is here, 3 is here, 2 is here. These are all stoichiometric coefficients. So, with respect to nitrogen, the rate is going to be dN2 by dt. With respect to hydrogen, dH2 by dt. With respect to NH3, dNH3 by dt, right? And overall rate is going to be dN2 by dt is equal to minus 1/3 dH2 by dt is equal to plus 1/2 dNH3 by dt. So, I just want to give you straight away, it is written as, the overall rate is going to be minus dN2 by dt is equal to minus 1/3 dH2 by dt is equal to plus 1/2 dNH3 by dt, right? For a generous reaction, A moles of A, B moles of B gives rise C moles of C and D moles of D. So, what are these stoichiometric coefficients are there? So, you write this as 1 by that number, 1 by A, 1 by B, 1 by C, 1 by D. So, it is given in this way. You can say, have you any doubts? Any doubts, bacho? That's good. Now, you can write this, the value of the rate reaction independent on the stoichiometric coefficient of substance involved in the reaction. That is very, very important, and this is a misconcept every student has. You please come out of this misconcept, right? And you can do the best. And however, the rate with respect to any species is depend on stoichiometric coefficient. उसमें independent क्या होगा? independent on the stoichiometric coefficients of the substance involved in the reaction, value of the rate of reaction. But the rate with respect to any species, overall order depend nahi karta, right? So there are certain things which are looking little confusion, right? Now look at this. We know rate means change in concentration by time. So unit of concentration is equal to mole per liter, and unit of time is going to be second or minute. So you can say rate is going to be mole liter inverse second inverse. Fine. And liter, 1 liter is equal to 1 dm cube. So mole dm power minus 3 and second inverse. So these units are quite interesting and important as far as the NEET examination or CBS examination is concerned. Fine. Any doubt? Okay. Moving ahead बच्चों. So instantaneous rate भी ऐसे होना चाहिए if in terms of pressures. So you can say pressure unit is atm and time inverse, or atm second inverse or bar second inverse are taken into the consideration. And also the factors that are affecting the rate of a reaction. So I want to say it is super important. Kinetic studies help us to determine the speed of a reaction and describes the conditions that can alter the rate of a reaction, the factors that affect in the rate of a reaction. The first one is effect of concentration. And the nature of reactants is also very important. You have ionic compounds, you have covalent compounds. And the physical state also very important. You have your computer science. आज क्लास चल रहा है केमिस्ट्री क्लास का बेटा. Okay, the reactions involving in gaseous species is faster as compared to the liquid and solid. That is about the nature of a reactant. The reactions involved in ionic compounds and aqueous solutions are faster as compared to the covalent species. When it comes to the covalent species, the reaction involves breaking and making less number of bonds are faster as compared to breaking and making more number of bonds. And talking about the effect of concentration. So rate of the reaction is directly proportional to the concentration to the power n. N is the order. Effect of concentration is studied in terms of order. That is the reason why we are studying order in the chemical kinetics, right? And if it is a zero order, if concentration of the reactant increased or decreased, rate of a reaction is not at all changing. Okay, anyways, we'll see in the detail. I'm going to show you the derivations also. And bachcho, effect of nature of the reactant and the product I already mentioned right now. And effect of pressure. So pressure is also an important factor in deciding the rate of a reaction. And it only applicable for the reactants and the products that are involved in the gaseous phase. And effect of temperature, of course, most of the cases as the temperature increases, rate of a reaction definitely increases because kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature. We are going to see in detailed version about this, Arrhenius equation about this. And effect of catalyst. What effect of catalyst? Catalyst is a substance which is added to the reaction mixture which makes the reaction so faster. Catalyst is going to catalyze both forward reaction and the backward reaction in the same way. And the catalyst is going to catalyze the reaction whose delta G value is negative. And the catalyst physically and chemically it is not involved in the reaction. Okay, catalyst takes an alternative pathway in which it has a less activation energy for the proceeding of this reaction. Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, better. So we'll see the most of these things in the next class because we have the other proportionations and all. And आज के लिए थोड़ा सा introduction देना चाहता हूँ, बहुत लंबा chapter है वाला. And I'll take one more session to complete this. Tomorrow let us see with more stuff in completion of chemical kinetics. Stay tuned bachcho, and we'll meet with more stuff in tomorrow's class. As of now I am done for today. We'll meet tomorrow. I'll show you total zero order, first order and Arrhenius equation as well. Okay, so thank you very much. I am signing off today. I have another session to get conducted. Okay, thank you. Please like this session, share with your friends and subscribe to Sri Chaitanya Academy Infinity and NEET YouTube channel. Thank you.